Okay, today's topic is going to be on functional family therapy and how it is effective in treating teens and families in cases of abuse. The program was designed to provide an alternative solution to traditional methods for dealing with adolescents with maladaptive behaviors. Beforehand, it was believed that juvenile delinquency was due to negative influence from social groups. However, it's now appearing that the root cause of criminal behavior is attributed mostly to aggression in childhood, which is socialized in and controlled by the family. A number of children's self-reported delinquent acts, including substance abuse and behavioral problems, are powerfully influenced by the attachment to their parents. These risk factors include high levels of conflict, which are history of family violence or abuse, violent and discipline and permissive discipline. Violent discipline we know as physical abuse or physical punishment, whoopings, beatings. Permissive discipline, however, refers to reinforcement of antisocial behaviors or drug use, not correctly disciplining a child for their unacceptable behavior. Poor family management, which includes poor communication and problem-solving skills, or the inability to communicate expectations and discipline for maladaptive behaviors. Family cohesion, which refers to attachment, and neglectful parenting. This is low levels of parental supervision or monitoring the child. The parent in this instance is communicating distrust or disinterest in the child altogether. All of these factors contribute to the possibility that the child will become involved in deviant behavior associated with peer groups, with delinquent peer groups. This research stresses the importance of including family when treating behavioral problems. Sorry about that. Designed by Dr. James F. Alexander in the late 70s, Functional Family Therapy, or FFT, is an evidence-based prevention and intervention program that consists of 8 to 12 one-hour sessions that focus on client behaviors within their environment and eliminates the need for out-of-home placement, particularly residential and detention facilities. It targets youth between the ages of 11 and 18 who are at risk of or presenting with delinquency, violent or aggressive behavior, conduct disorder, substance abuse, oppositional defiant disorder, or behavioral disorders. Therapists work with families to assess family behaviors that maintain delinquency and modify dysfunctional family communication. And from this, the family members learn to negotiate effectively and set clear rules about privileges and responsibilities. Now, this program originally began with 5 phases. However, in the past few years, it has been narrowed down to 3 separate intervention phases. Phase 1, engagement and motivation. Phase 2, behavior change. And Phase 3, generalization. Assessment does occur throughout each phase. The engagement and motivation phase focuses on establishing intervention credibility or ensuring clients that this method will work, and addressing maladaptive perceptions, beliefs, and emotions. This requires building trust with the family and attempting to reduce negativity amongst the members. The goal here is to get an idea of the family life in order to understand what behaviors need to be addressed and an idea of what each member feels is causing the problems. Therapists need to be able to empathize with the families, with the feelings of the family, but also be able to help them see a different meaning behind the frustrating behavior. In the following clip, we will see a mock session between a mother, Patrice, and her daughter, Brianna. I enlisted the help of my sister and her friends in order to play the roles in this intervention. Brianna is a 14-year-old female referred to for family therapy by her probation officer as an alternative to institutional placement after repeated fighting and drug use after school. Patrice, Brianna's mother, Brianna's mother is a nurse and works at a local hospital most days and often picks up evening shifts to supplement her income. She's often taking off from work to address Brianna's behaviors at school. Brianna's father is not present in the home. You will see in the clip that the communication between the family members is defensive, with quite a bit more blaming than there is listening. I'll go ahead and get this set up for you. We have Patrice and Brianna. Patrice is the mother of 14-year-old Brianna. Patrice, you want to tell me why we're here today?
I was thinking, how does my daughter Brianna, all she does is fight, she's disrespectful, and I can't take it anymore. I just want to punch her in her face because she's just disrespectful. She doesn't do her schoolwork, she doesn't even go to school, and she does drugs, and I can't take it anymore. I just don't know what to do. She's so stupid, like, I just don't know what to do.
Brianna?
She's just so disrespectful. Most disrespectful child in my life.
Brianna, you want to tell me why you think we're here?
Well, I really don't know over here. I don't think I have a problem with making my mom speak that. And I don't like it.
So what do you think is causing you to get into these fights after school?
Because people try to
And Mom, how do you discipline her when she acts out in school?
I try to take her clothes and her shoes and beat her behind. She can't sit down anymore, but it doesn't work. She doesn't listen. She walks away. She leaves home and doesn't come back until she feels like it, and no one can get in contact with her. It's just crazy. No one knows.
Brianna, is there a reason why you leave home when your mom is disciplining you?
Because she's annoying, and I like to go out with my friends. We like to do stuff. I like to be home because there's nothing to do with it. All she does is talk about how bad child is.
Give me an example of an argument that you would have during the week.
When I ask Brianna to do the dishes, she always says, well, the reason being is because I feel like I shouldn't have to wash this after somebody that gets out of them. And well, Brianna, you live here too. And well, listen, I don't care if I live here. But I'm your mother, and I tell you what to do. So I don't care. Well, you're one dirty child. You don't think about the dirty. I'm dirty. You don't call her home. You don't do anything. It's not right for a mother to call her. It's not right when it's like, I don't want to wash the dishes. And she's always calling me names and stuff. And you don't do anything else around the house. I don't even wash the dishes. Yes, I do. What do you do? I listen to you all. No, you don't. Yes, I do. You walk away, you leave the house, you don't come back, you don't do anything. Just like now, walking away.
That's okay, let her leave.
You're never going to stop talking.
So, Patrice, tell me how your parents would have disciplined you if you had acted out the way that Brianna had.
Well, when I was a child, there were no ifs, ands, or buts about what I had to do. And if I didn't do what I had to do, I would just get a beating. But on the other hand, Brianna, she just doesn't listen, and it doesn't work. Like, I try everything, and it just makes your behavior worse. And listen, and you just get out of it.
Okay, well, it's evident that there is a history of poor problem-solving skills within your family. You learned as a child that violence was the best way to deal with problems, and you're passing that message along to Brianna because now she feels the best way to deal with her problems at school is also through violence. Okay, so the therapist's role in this phase is to explain to the mother that her responses to Brianna's behavior are a result of what she learned from her parents' responses to her behavior. Brianna's behavior was then relabeled as a maladaptive problem-solving skill. When she was being harassed at school, she fought, or when she was frustrated or stressed, she did drugs. Brianna's behavior also could be seen as a way of seeking approval and attention from her friends that she is not receiving from her mother. The majority of the family's conflict altogether is attributed to poor communication. We saw that Patrice insulted Brianna and provoked her until she became angry and eventually left the therapy session. The mother did state at one point, I don't know if that was included in the clip, that Brianna's behavior began to worsen in school, and out of frustration, her punishments became increasingly violent, and she began to withhold essential items such as clothing from Brianna. These are all things that she learned from her parents as acceptable discipline measures. However, we've learned in the last few units that this is not the case. Now that we see the abuse that has been identified, we shift focus to finding new ways to handle Brianna's behavior. Phase 2, which focuses on education and behavior change, is where clinicians provide concrete behavioral intervention to guide and model specific behavior changes in parenting, or encourage them to use skills they have more frequently. Basically, it's a parent training phase that consists of teaching communication and problem-solving skills and providing new parenting techniques to assist in reinforcing functional behavior. In this next clip, we're going to introduce the use of a contingency plan or a contingency contract as a way to reinforce functional behaviors. This contingency plan is created by the parent and the child. The parent will identify a list of goals that need to be met in order for the youth to be rewarded, and the child is to come up with a list of rewards that they would like to receive. Each reward must meet 4 criteria. It does not contribute to irresponsible behavior. It is non-essential, which again is not withholding food, water, or clothing. You can't withhold food, water, or clothing. That is neglect. The parent is willing and able to withhold the privilege if it is not earned, and the reward has to be reasonable given the context in which the youth and parent live. So if the youth and parent are in a single family household, that doesn't mean the parent goes and buys the child a car. Instead, maybe lessons on how to drive a car. If we're earning our driver's license, lessons on how to drive a car, supervised lessons, of course, on how to drive. Let me go ahead and get this next clip set up for you. So at the conclusion of our last session, I asked Patrice and Brianna to come up with a contingency plan, which is basically a reward program for good behaviors. What were you guys able to come up with?
Well, we decided that if she doesn't get in trouble or she leaves, then I'm gonna let her go out with her friends or whatever she would like to do. And I have her sign this contract stating that I will let her go out.
Brianna, did you have a specific set of rewards that you picked out?
Well, I would like to go to the movies with my personal reason. And I want this particular album from my favorite singer. So, yeah.
Okay, Mom, are there any other things that you would like for her to do in order to earn these rewards?
Nothing that we can just in contributing into something in the house that we can do with the chores and washing dishes and trash all the time.
Brianna, do you agree to do these things? Well, in order to earn the rewards on the contract that you did sign, you have to.
Okay, well, I think it will take me a while, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, in this particular clip, you can see that there's still some resistance to change. However, they are agreeing to give it a try. The contingency plan will make it a little bit easier for Brianna to have something to reach towards. So she'll be more likely to stick to the good behaviors in order to earn whatever it is she's listed on this chart. During the next phase, which is generalization phase, we do see a decline in the frequency of sessions. The therapist sees the family every 2 to 3 weeks for the final 2 to 3 sessions and supports the maintenance of the changes that the family is making. It's also necessary to explain that to family that they may experience some setbacks, but the key is to continuing using these new techniques and not regressing into previously used and ineffective methods. The family will be coming in for their last session to see if the contingency chart and new parenting skills have made an effect on Brianna's behavior. Let me get that up again.
So here we are. It is the final session for Patrice and her daughter Brianna. You guys want to tell me how everything's been going?
So, I will say, we are having altercation. She's at home. But, otherwise, in school, I haven't got a call. I haven't got a job. And the probation officer said she was doing pretty good, and the drug test actually came back good. Other than that, we've been great.
How's the contingency plan working? Has she earned any rewards?
Yes, she has. She's been good at school, so I get better results with her friends.
That's good. Brianna, have you been doing any positive things at your school lately?
Well, I actually tried joining the book club, and I actually really enjoyed the book. I thought it was really boring, but I like it, so I think I'm feeling better.
Are you still hanging out with those friends that you used to fight with after school and do drugs with after school?
Yes, but I'm starting to slowly drift away from them because after me and my mom had a talk, I started to realize that they're back again.
That's good. That's wonderful. It's good to see that you guys are doing much better.
All right. Now, with this program, it has been proven to be highly effective when compared to other approaches, and has been a better source of lowering incidents of juvenile delinquency when compared to multi-systemic therapy. And I do need to go ahead and clarify that these two programs do almost the exact same thing. However, the incidence of the rate of reoffending for moderate to high-risk youth is substantially lower with functional family therapy as compared to multi-systemic therapy. The completion rate It's actually not too far off the 76% completion rate amongst the functional family therapy participants. However, what I've been looking at is the rate of reoffending within the group that was treated with the functional family therapy. Again, the whole goal of this therapy method is to discontinue some of these maladaptive behaviors, because as we've learned, they are behaviors that are passed down from generation to generation. And if we catch them while the individual is young, we can correct that problem earlier on and prevent it from going any further. Also, I included a chart. I included some statistics about the rate of reoffending and the cost to the state for residential treatment facilities and detention centers. And considering how much these programs cost and how ineffective they are, we can see that these in-home therapy programs actually save the state quite a bit of money. So that's always a plus, you know, a little bit of a savings on your property taxes. I took this information and I provided it to a few individuals within the community. One particular individual, her name is Grace Tyson. She's the youth activities director over at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. She stated, and I quote, that with all therapy, success depends on the participant's willingness to change. She feels that functional family therapy can be highly effective because one of the greatest barriers to success outside of willingness to change is transportation to and from therapy sessions. In addition, she feels that this type of therapy is optimal because participants are in their environment, which they are most comfortable with. Overall, she believes that for the inner city urban communities, functional family therapy is a useful tool. I also got a statement from the program coordinator for Vision Quest. He handles all of the functional family therapy programs within the company, and what Vision Quest provides is residential treatment for adolescent delinquents and substance abusers. He stated that he's seen great success with this program in his facilities as well. What I didn't know before speaking with him is that their company is one of the largest providers of functional family therapy, and they've been using this model for about 12 years. He stated that he saw an 85% rate of completion amongst the families who are enrolled. So overall, we can see that there is a great success with using this program. Now, personally, I believe that this intervention is best used anywhere there is incidence of juvenile delinquency, because as we learn throughout this course, behaviors are learned either through modeling or in response to other behaviors. Whenever there's an incidence of substance abuse or violence or aggression, it's learned at home. Most of our behavior learning starts in the home. And what better way to address these maladaptive behaviors and try to remodel a new way of thinking so that the child can carry that on for the next generation and the next generation to cut down on the incidences of abuse, whether it be physical, emotional, or verbal or psychological abuse. This model, I do like the fact that it takes a systems approach in correcting behavior and not just looks at the child, but it looks at the entire family unit. The adolescent's behavior is broken down to understand why they are misbehaving, and then they shift focus to the parents' behaviors and try to pinpoint what may be going on that's contributing to the teens acting out. This approach not only prevents these adolescents from becoming involved with the justice system as adults, but as I said before, it improves the relationship and communication between family members, with the hope that these children will become adults that will use more effective parenting skills and break the cycles of abuse. I do want to take just a second and give special thanks to my two actresses, my sister Kyla and her friend Tiffany, Grace Tyson for her participation, and Richard Berry for his participation. I couldn't have done it without these guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and list them under the video, or you can contact me in class. Thank you so much for your participation. I hope I was able to provide you with some very insightful information on this program.